Hello and welcome to Wonderworld, the tour. I can't believe it's taken 11, pretty much 12 weeks, because this is technically the 12th episode to get to this point. This park has been such a big part of the start of this year and the end of last year for me. It's been a labour of love, let's put it that way. It's taken a lot of effort. There's lots of parts of this park that have taken longer than I thought they would, but then have turned out better than I ever thought they would as well, so it definitely worth the effort if you want to start a park. The things you can create with them are just amazing. So I'm really happy with this one. It's definitely my favourite park I've done so far. It includes some of my favourite coasters I've ever made, but just starting off here in the car park with the blue car park there. Every park definitely needs one of those. I've got the maintenance area here as well, with the pieces of the wooden coaster that are left from the gravity group retrack and all the rest of the crap that you'd find in a maintenance area. Definitely a lot you can fill out with it, and like I said about the blue car park, it's definitely important to have one of these in all your parks. Just adds that extra bit of realism. It's just a nice thing to do for the guests. Quite a big car park for this park. I probably could have made one bigger, to be fair, with how big the park ended up actually being. Got the ticket booth there as well. This park actually ended up being a fair bit bigger than I actually intended it to. So I really like how you can see through the trees and see coasters. It's like when you're in the car park at Alton Towers and you can see Nemesis through the trees. I always really like that. And then we move towards the entrance of the park. If you're wondering where the guest spawner is as well, it is just behind that toilet building to the right, covered up by some trees, just in case you wanted to know where that is. Because on PC you can move it, which is quite good, so it doesn't have to stay in the tunnel like it is on console. And as we enter the park, and here we are with the entrance sign that Roll Guy Kai made. I really like that sign. Nice logo. And you've got this massive open area here as well, where the guests can all congregate on a morning before the gates get opened. It needs to be quite a large area, especially for this park. And as you can see, there's speakers. I've made sound quite a big part of this park, so there's speakers in every area. Every area's got its own music kind of going, so it creates a nice atmosphere in there. So we'll enter the park. Coming under here, through the security, through the things, thank you, through the ticket things, I don't know what you call, into the actual main street of the park. I was quite happy with this. There's lots of like different variety of buildings as well, and you can see little glimpses of the different rides from around the park. So we've got the Wonder Gifts here, which is the gift shop. I think if you remember me saying that most of these shops and restaurants don't have anything in them, just because I didn't want to do the interiors because it'd take too long. We've got the nice seating areas there, the toilets. There's a difference, like a nice mix of modern buildings and then old style ones like the barn there, which is kind of like a farm style restaurant. These big planters in the middle with oh, that is a lot of lag, okay. Some parts of this park are definitely lagging a bit, with all the nice foliage there as well. There's probably all the foliage, to be fair. There's a lot of foliage in this park. Another nice seating area here. Coffee house, just a Costa Coffee or Starbucks rip-off. It could have been one at one point. And a pizza, or probably a Pizza Hut knockoff as well, to be fair, pizza place. The big Wonder Wheel, which is now kind of like the main viewing point, I suppose, of the park. The lockers, all nice custom lockers in there. Could have been fitted out for some new ones. Customer service, ice cream shop. Every theme park has to have an ice cream shop. It just has to. It's the law that I've made. I love ice cream, that's why. There's a first aid and pushchair lift rented place there, and yeah, that is pretty much the main street. It's got some nice seating areas around here as well. Your hair is awesome. Look at that. I think I should get my hair done like that for when I do my face reveal, whenever that may be. But yeah, so that is the main street. So I think I will go... We'll probably do it in episode order, I think, or mostly, I think, because it's not going to work in terms of the dark ride, so we'll probably do it in episode order, but you get some nice views on Main Street as well with the some of the park's first rides. The Zero coaster there going around. Nice views of the Intamin off in the distance as well, and then it just kind of trails into the rest of the park from down there. But I think we will go... Yeah, we'll go to the Mac Big Dipper first. We'll kind of do it in chronological order that I did the episodes in, but not actually in the order that the rides were created, so not to be confusing. I love the Magby Dipper area. That view is just perfectly what I wanted from when you actually come down the main street into the park. Took quite a bit of faffing around to get that the way I wanted it, but it looks really good. And then obviously, because of when the 2 launches set off, you get a nice bit of interaction between the coasters, and obviously it goes through the launch loop there. Oh, I cannot operate this camera. There's a few bits I've cut out because of it, I'm sure. I really like the theming of this. This was probably one of the only areas that I actually fully planned before I started building the park. I knew I wanted some sort of like abandoned looking area with like rust and overgrown and everything, and yeah, just like loads of warehouses, stuff like that, and it's perfect for me. I'm really happy with this area. It's probably the part of the park that I'm most happy with, especially this coaster. This coaster is probably my favourite in the park, I think. What is going on here? Are we stuck? No, there isn't even a queue. Why are you not going in? Okay. The AI in this game is questionable at the best of times, but yeah. So this is the Pandora coaster, which I really like the name of. Obviously it's Pandora's, essentially this is the name of the man's wife. That's a bit of the backstory there. Hello. What's your name? You don't have a name? No. Okay, I'll call you Bill. Thanks Bill for letting us in. The story is like the signs all around it, but it's basically just that a long time ago there was a man that lived in the Wonderworld castle that you'll see later with his wife, and then his wife unfortunately died, so he basically is a scientist and created this machine called the Pandora machine, named after his wife, to try and like resurrect her back from the dead essentially. So that's what this ride is. It's basically some explorers went into this barn, kind of the building that you see there, the warehouse, maybe a couple of 100 years after the story happened, and then they found the machine, and one of them went back on a night to turn it on, and this happened basically. So it's made all the area crazy. You can see there with the big van. Oh my god, the camera. You can see there with the big van that's being held up. It's basically just like this box has messed with reality in a certain part of the park, where it's like vines lifting up vehicles and destroying the area. It's basically just, yeah, really confusing kind of theme. That's what I was going for. I like more vague themes. Obviously it's got a story behind it, but the theme is more, I don't know, open to interpretation, let's say. I'm quite happy with how the queue works with this. It's nice and overgrown. It didn't actually have as much plants as this to begin with, but I definitely added a lot more. So I'll go into night for this part of the queue. There we go. If I can get the camera in the right mode. So I was, yeah, quite happy with the story of this ride, quite happy with the theme that I made and the overall like ambience around it. I would have probably like to spend a bit more time like detailing the inside of the queue, but like with me giving myself a week to make these episodes each, it was a bit hard. There you go. You can barely see that sign, but it says the machine is alive. And there's the machine there. It actually shows up in different locations around the park, the machine. You'll see it in the dark ride. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. So we will take a ride on this coaster. He looks quite mean and menacing, doesn't he? Or cute in a way, I suppose. Anyway, I'll see you after a POV of this coaster. There we go, that was the Mac Big Dipper. I decided to go with the like the chase view, I think it's called. Just if you want to see the POV, you can go back to the actual episode and watch that, but I think you just get a better view of how the actual ride is interacting with the area around it, just with it being in chase view. Yeah, like I said, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. It's probably between, I don't know actually, this, the wooden coaster, and the Intamin are probably some of my favourite coasters I've ever built, so I don't know which one I could choose out of them. That not Cobra Roll, what's it called? Corkscrew. The Corkscrew looks so cool. You'll have to let me know in the comments what is your favourite ride from this park, or like comment your top 3 or top 5 or something. That'd be really interesting to know, just in terms of, I'm planning the next park series, so what your favourite rides are will probably have some sort of opinion on that, on the park series. Got a ride photos unit here. I've added these to all the newest rides of the park, but the older ones probably wouldn't have them just because of when they were built. But yeah, I really like this area, just the whole look of it. Looks a bit apocalypsy almost. And then you've got the, I nearly said dueling coaster, and it pretty much is dueling, the Intamin family launch coaster. Got a toilets block there that I just put in, and the dark rides. The name I chose for this was The Spirit. It's a combination of a few names that you can see on the screen there, but I'm just really happy with this whole area, kind of the 3 newer rides in the park, the Mac Big Dipper, the Spirit, and the Intamin. They all go together quite nicely, so entering this queue at 2 AM like it says on the wall, just to give a very nice ambient effect while you're inside. Quite happy with this dark ride. I would have liked more time on it because I've only had a week to do it, but I think it's turned out okay for a week. But I'll definitely do a better dark ride at some point, whether that's like an indoor coaster or another like tracked or trackless dark ride like this, but we'll see. So I'll see you after the POV. go, that was the dark ride. I don't know whether anyone noticed that in the POV for the dark ride that I did in episode 11 there was some random music at the end, so I had to have a bit of a hunt for the speaker to find it. It took me like 15 minutes to find that speaker that was, I think it was doing Western music or something, but it took so long to find it. So the best thing I can say is when you place in like triggers and effects and speakers is to group them in buildings, because then you can just like, well, find items in it much easier, I suppose. It'll definitely save you some time whilst building anyway, but there you go. Massive Intamin, same as Hagrid's sort of thing, with the dueling section over the lake. I just really like how this kind of sits nice at the back of the park. Got almost dueling. It pretty much duels like 3 out of 4 times. So I've got these photo points here that actually have the vista point inside them, so the guests will actually go up and like take photos and stuff, and you can see that all the way from the Wonderworld entrance down Main Street. I don't think I've ever actually called it Wonder Street. Wonder Street might be a nice name for it, I suppose. I really like that point there where they kind of, I don't know, it like waves over the top of it. It's like a really highly banked turn. I love that. It's a nice transition as well between the first family coaster that the park had and then now the more modern one, like the old and new. It's a nice transition. Like, imagine sitting here. I would sit here, sit my phone there, probably put it on the ultra wide lens and take a nice video of that for a vlog. I'm not sad, I swear. So the Haunting is what I've called this ride. Nice reference to Haunted of Hill House and Bly Manor, which are some of my favourite TV series of all time. Definitely top 5. But yeah, I love the entrance of this ride. Kind of the parts over the water. I mean, Planet Coaster water just looks very nice anyway with the reflections, but it's such a nice looking area. Is it gonna? There we go. Launching. Love the way it swoops right over the entrance bridge as well. Perfectly symmetrical, that turn. Yeah, I'm very happy with this ride. I started planning this pretty much, I think the day I got back to the flat we were staying at in America when I went on Hagrid's. I was like, I need to build a ride like this in my park at some point. So this was kind of my love letter to Hagrid's, I suppose. I think Hagrid's is actually faster as well. I know a few of you commented in the comments, you know, where you comment. This ride seemed a little bit too fast, but Hagrid's is actually faster, believe it or not. How that's classed as a family coaster. I mean, family coasters are changing, aren't they? It's like Family Thrill now. I mean, Chessington's got a family coaster with an inversion, so they're always pushing the boat out for what is classed as a family coaster. This is probably my favourite part of the ride here, where it launches up the side of this like tower spire from the castle that's fallen over. See it a bit zoomed out there. That just looks really nice. I'm happy with that. And I feel like I never normally say I'm happy with my work, but I'm happy with that specific piece of it at least. And it creates almost like another little courtyard here as well on the other side of it as you walk up to the station building. You just get lots of nice views of the coaster throughout this queue. You can see it from pretty much all points in the queue. You can see at least some of the coaster, so it works quite well. I just love how it like bursts through the roof of the, I suppose it'd be like a main hall of the house, or like an outbuilding if the dark ride is the house. I don't know. It's ruins, I can get away with whatever I want. So we'll take a ride on this. I think we'll probably do Chase View as well. That was the launched Intamin family coaster inspired by Hagrid's. I like just that little S-curve out the station there. There was quite a few parts of this ride where I wanted to get specific features in, so I made sure that I did, like with the part over the water and this turnaround section here. Is the train coming? Maybe? No. This turnaround section here is definitely inspired. Oh, there it is. Inspired by just after the second launch on Taron, where it goes like quite up to that high bank, like that part, and then kind of twists down like a double S bend. So that's what that was inspired by. But I guess some quite nice views of the park up here. I want this elevated part. See the Ferris wheel in the distance, or the Wonder Wheel, sorry. You get some nice views. I mean, I originally created the lake. That's the area down to the classic rides. I think we'll go around there now. But I originally created the lake for this ride and then extended it into the classic area of the park. I thought it'd be a bit weird just having a small lake for that one ride. I thought I'll make quite a big feature out of this water area. And then here we move on to the first or the second or the third coaster in the park. I don't know. I think I said when I made this in its video, was it episode 3 that I said this was the first coaster, but I don't actually know because you've got the wooden Wild Mouse and the wooden coaster up there, which are both quite old coasters as well, so one of them 3 would have been the first. So we've got Wonder Worm. I really like that entrance sign, as how horrendous as it is. I think I made it in like 30 seconds, but I like it. You do find that with like older theme park things, so like some bits just look a bit out of place and out of the ordinary, but that's what I wanted for the sign, so that horrendous sign is staying. So we will go on, is it Wonder Worm? I think this coaster's called? It's my own park and I can't even remember. Yeah, so we'll go on Wonder Worm. Wonder Worm. I'm not going insane, even though I thought I was. You get some really nice views from this station as well. I feel like any elevated part in this park, you get nice views over all the different attractions. See them all interacting with each other. That's something I want to do probably a lot more in the next park, is attractions that interact with each other. So the log flume, I think we'll go left, just for this one attraction. Obviously that path there leads through to the Intamin coaster that we saw earlier, and then the conveniently named Super Trooper called Super Trooper. Nice views of the Intamin there. This ride doesn't really get a whole lot of attention, which is weird. I don't know whether its prestige is a bit low. But I've been on one of those, Funk and Fly at Alton Towers, one of the temporary retro squad rides. They are actually quite fun. I do like them rides. Nice views of the log flume there. I think we'll go on that next. It's very hot with the sun. I assume that's why the log flume has got such a big queue. So Timber Falls is the name for the log flume. It's all the way back here. Wow. I remember when I built this, I thought, is this queue actually too long? Will it actually get filled up? But yep. It definitely did. You get some nice views over to the wooden coaster as well. I feel like that's what I'm saying every 5 seconds, some nice views, but it is. Is the log flume coming down? I can't tell. There's too many beams in the way. Is it coming? There it is. You can probably see the double down drop from a different angle, but I'm quite happy with this. Quite happy with how this log flume turned out. It's like this whole area is trying desperately not to be Western, but it pretty much is. Wasn't the intention, but it's pretty much there. I feel like any time you try to do wooden rocks, it's like, yep, Western time. But there's a lot of foliage around the area as well. Obviously that double down drop inspired by Chiapas. At Fantasialand, however you say it. I love that drop. It's annoying how you have to use mods to get it to work. But... And then we enter the station, which is full of beams. You know me. There's got to be beams everywhere. So we'll take a ride on this log flume. And there was a few of you asking, can we have a full POV of the log flume in the log flume episode? So here you go, here's a full uncut, no commentary POV, so I will shut up. And that was the log flume. Well done if you've made it this far. We've just hit the 30-minute mark, so thanks for sticking around. Lovely view of the wooden coaster there. I need a view counter, the amount of times I keep saying it. The bridge over there connecting the lake to the maintenance road that goes around the back of the wooden coaster as well. It's always good to have like a continuity in your maintenance area so they're all connected to each other. Just adds that extra bit of realism. Now we move on to Wacky Mouse, which is probably one of my favourite coasters in the park in terms of like quirkiness, but not like favourite in terms of thrill. This does not have a big queue, does it? I wonder if the prestige is quite low on this this ride type. I don't pay attention to the prestiges at all for the rides, just so you know, but I absolutely love this ride. Lovely Blackpool Pleasure Beach from when I was a child kind of memories. So we'll take a POV on this wooden wild mouse. There we go, that was the wooden wild mouse. You do not look happy, do you? What is wrong with this ride? People do not like them. I love the wooden wild mouse that was at Blackpool. It was probably one of my favourite rides there when it was open. They removed that far too long ago. Should never have been removed. Got the classic area extended down here. I assume these three flat rides would have probably all been put in at the same time because they're all on like the same pad that leads to a maintenance area at the back. So one of them is a lot more popular than the other one. Wow, that plain one's very popular. But you can see, take an overhead view, you can see the three kind of concrete pads for the rides. And then we move on to the final coaster that I added into the park in terms of episode order, but one of the first coasters, which is the I don't know, the unmanufactured roller coaster. I haven't actually given a manufacturer to this one because I really didn't know, but as you can see by the different colours of track, it's had some gravity group retrack work. Here comes the train. Got GCI Millennium Flyer trains as well, but that's just because I don't like the gravity group trains in-game. They look far too sci-fi, so it could have quite easily bought some GCI trains, but it depends whether it would have fit the actual track type depending on what manufacturer it is, but it's a game, we don't have to get into it that far. I love this area, how the ride kind of hugs it. You've got the Flying Eagles flat ride there, and then the wooden coaster just like flying around the whole area. That was a pun, wasn't it? Flying around the whole area. Got a toilet block there. Lovely interaction with the coaster. Not while you're on the toilet, but... oh no. You can tell I'm not using this script. This episode's fallen to bits. So we've got the grill there, which is the food place for this. And then Timber, which is the name of the coaster. Quite a nice simple name, but I liked it. I just thought it'd be something the park would probably call it. You get quite up close to the coaster as well as it flies around. Really up close to it with how the queue is. You can see it coming now. It carries a lot of speed, this coaster as well. It's really fast. I'm really happy with it. It's about the same height as Robin Hood, which is the wooden coaster that used to be at Wallaby Holland? Wallaby Holland? Yeah, pretty sure it was the Holland one. So I actually added the maintenance shed as well. I think I mentioned in the wooden coaster episode that I just straight up forgot to add the maintenance area, so there you go. The dispatches are great on this as well. The second that one hits the brakes, that one's nearly at the top of the lift hill. So it's a right people to this ride. Another very beamy station. I should have called this park Beam World, shouldn't I? Not Wonder World. Anyway, I'll see you after the last POV of the park. We'll go chase view again for this one. I quite like the chase views. And that's it. That is the last POV for Wonderworld. We're done. The park is finished. So you just go across this bridge here and down that path and you are off the ride. So we'll take a few shots of over the park, bird's eye view, and you can see the areas from probably a perspective you've not seen before. I don't think I've showed many over like the top shots of the park, but yeah, I really like this area, how the coaster kind of hugs it. We'll have a look around some of the other areas as well, but yeah, this park is now finished. That's it. This series has gone really quickly, to say that this is the 12th week with the tour, so thank you if you've watched every episode, if you've been there commenting names in the comments, because where else would you put comments? And liking the videos as well, just showing all sorts of support, even the memberships as well that was launched with this series. So thank you so much for all the support. It's been absolutely insane. I've loved it. Just making this series has been really fun. The next series, I'm not going to say a date because I really haven't a clue, with my uni work piling up, as especially it's coming towards the end of this year with exams and coursework and everything. The content will be a little bit less over the next month or so, but the new park series is coming. I have started planning it. It's in its development stage. I haven't actually built anything yet, but it will get there. It will be a bigger park than this, have more roller coasters, and be a lot more colourful. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, that's it. It's not really much more for me to say. This park's done. So thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you next week for another video, and eventually when the new park series comes out, and for the 5k celebration as well when we hit that. We are so close. If I haven't hit it when this video comes out, we'll be literally probably a few subscribers away. So if you think anyone's interested in Planet Coaster stuff like this, might be your mum, your auntie, your cat. If your cat needs to subscribe your cat to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.